What does CLB 10 in speaking actually look like? I got these two recordings here for you that'll show you exactly that. Before that, let me show you one of our recent results. Speaking 12 out of 12. This is one of our students and these are his overall scores. Everything over 10, average 11, speaking 12. How? How do we do speaking 12? And by the way, great job on reading too. 12 is usually very hard in reading. But we're going to discuss speaking today. We're going to look at two really difficult questions. Question number 1, which is 90 seconds, and then question number 7, which is also 90 seconds. I have my own recording for both of these answers, and I'll break down that recording, tell you why specific parts of that recording are going to give you 10 in CELPIP and 10 in CLB, and why and how can you apply the same method. So this is going to be a practical video. Let's get started. The first question is right here. Your sibling is starting their first day at a new school. Provide him/her guidance on how to adjust and make new friends. That's the gist of it. So you have to now, first of all, imagine a situation where you're talking to your actual sibling. If you don't have one, think about a friend. And when you're in this natural mode, you'll be comfortable and you will have good ideas. Now, let's get started. And I'm gonna play this few seconds, stop and discuss with you why some things are good, some things are bad, then play again and keep going so you really understand what to do. Let's start with this answer. Hey Sarah, I understand right now you're feeling completely overwhelmed, and I get it. However, I have a few suggestions before you start school that'll make this look like a breeze. Remember, it is your sister. You want to be natural, so the tone is friendly. Then it's the intro you need where you show the emotional connection. I understand it's overwhelming. Transition by saying, however, there are a few things you can do. However, there's this good news. And then you go on to your suggestions, which are going to be firstly, secondly, thirdly. Let's keep listening. First and foremost, you just got to be yourself. People are naturally drawn to your authenticity, and that is something I've mentioned a million times. So people are drawn to your authenticity? I am describing this person as if I know what kind of a personality she has, and I have mentioned this a million times. Two things here. One is a million times is informal, casual, so good tone. The other is I am showing once again realism. I know this person. I have seen this a million times, and again that shows that it is not robotic, it's a natural answer, and that's what we're aiming for. Always go for realism. Your kindness, your sense of humor, all these qualities you have, they simply will make you stand out once you learn how to relax and let go. Relax and let go. These are good phrases to add. And again, we're showing a reasoning. If you do this, this, and this will be the result. So always showcase why and how. Don't just make suggestions, but always give explanations. Let people see the real you. Secondly, take the initiative to actually engage with people. Even something as simple as asking a classmate about homework or offering to sit with someone during lunch. Now, look how we built this. This is your marks for structure. Secondly, so that is going to the second point, you can also say furthermore, likewise. So we do a connector to jump from one major point to another. Then there's a topic sentence. Take the initiative. That just gives you an idea. Like, do this in one sentence, do this. Then in the next sentence or next phrase, you start giving examples. Like you can offer to help, you can sit with someone. This is the process. Once again, the process helps you with the task response marks, and that's where explanation is needed. But build it like that. Secondly, topic sentence, and then your explanation with or without example. Examples are good if they help you. They're not mandatory. Here, they helped me, so I used it. Let's keep going. All these things can open up doors to real and genuine friendships. Now notice how throughout the answer I try putting adjectives, and you will notice if you rewind it and listen closely, it's like I'm pausing a little bit before I say the adjective because I'm thinking that I have to use an adjective. Those will give me marks for my range of vocab. So using words like real, genuine, authenticity. All these things are giving me more and more marks, but you don't have to think about it in terms of like I need an adjective and what is the definition of an adjective. Adjectives are basically qualities, right? Think of your answer in a way where you can describe it to the best of your ability. So if you're describing the qualities of everything you're explaining, the adjectives naturally come out and they give you marks for your range.
Most students are open to meeting new people. They're just waiting for someone else to take the initiative.
Now look at this part of the example. This is the example elaborated even more. And this is where, most students are open to it. Just you go and talk to them, they will appreciate it. This does not need to be said. My example initially is enough, but the reason I'm adding this here is because during this answer, I'm also multitasking. I'm looking at that bar, the time, and I have enough time. You want to safely time each of the 3 points in 20-second intervals. So if you have enough time left for your second point, keep adding there. Don't leave too much time for another point or too little time for another point. You will hurt the other point. So I had time, made sure to use it, and then for the next point, I'll be more stable. So add more details while looking at the time. You have to manage all of this. Multitask, look at the time, plan your thoughts and structure.
Now, thirdly, there's another suggestion. Try joining clubs, try doing some activities. These are the easiest ways to meet like-minded people and also feel a sense of belonging, even in new and unfamiliar environments.
So this is a long, complex sentence. Do this, this, this. This will allow you to do this, even in these situations. When you add more than one clause in one sentence, it becomes a complex sentence, and you should try to at least have 2 of them in the 90-second questions and 1 in other questions, at least 1 complex sentence, but you don't have to think that hard on complex sentences. For example, in writing, you really have to use 2 to 4 complex sentences per task. So there, you can proofread, go back and adjust. The examiner expects you to be on top of your game. In speaking, do it when natural. If it's unnatural, you don't have to force yourself. But if you can remember and multitask and be conscious that I need to insert a complex sentence, all my sentences were simpler, then add some. Try to add at least 2 clauses or more per sentence. Here I had the opportunity to do that, so I did that. And again, don't force it, make it natural. But the more complex sentences generally, the better.
You are way stronger than you think.
This is the conclusion. This is pep talk at the end.
Trust me, you've got this, and I completely believe in you. You can always reach out if you need any more help. Take care.
My conclusion, finished very comfortably compared to, I would say, 70 to 80% of the students. Conclusion is where people rush. The reason I didn't rush is because of what I mentioned earlier. I was looking at the time throughout my points, throughout the speech, and timing everything well. And at the end, I always plan to leave a 5-second buffer. So if it's going to finish at 90 seconds, I'm not aiming to finish at 90 seconds. I'm aiming to finish at 85 seconds. And that helps me plan well. So I had enough time at the end. I said, okay, I got more seconds. Let me do a little more pep talk, which is always advantageous because here you can add some things that you didn't add earlier. For example, I could add here realism, like I believe in you, you can do this, you got this. Those things will increase my marks and I have the room to do it. It's the worst situation if you have no room and you're running short on time and you're halfway through your conclusion and the time finishes. So always do the opposite. And that's it for this answer. It has no grammar mistakes, very natural tone, shows realism, shows a good range of vocab. It's nicely structured in 3 points, has your intro and conclusion, no rushing at the end, and overall a complete answer. Now, we're going to look at the next question and see why that is also a high-scoring answer. If you haven't already, check out our CELPIP Guaranteed Improvement course in the description. It now comes with 25 tests and a lot of upgrades, plus 15 hours of video content that helps you improve, and it is guaranteed or your money back in the description. Task number 7, friends should always tell each other the truth no matter how hurtful it may be. Do you agree or disagree? This is task 7. I'm going to play the answer, but wait. Try to do your own answer. try to do the answer based on the learnings you got from the last answer and see if you can do better than me, worse than me, or the same as me. Pause the video, try it now. Now, if you have already done that, you deserve to hear the actual answer. Let's get started.
Well, this is a perplexing question. However, I strongly agree that friends should always tell each other the truth, even if it's difficult or emotionally uncomfortable. Real friendship is built on honesty, not convenience. First of all, withholding the truth to protect someone only delays the pain that may be inevitable. For example, if a friend is making a poor life choice, like, let's say, staying in a toxic relationship, sugarcoating that does not help them grow. Honest feedback helps, even if it stings a lot. Secondly, honesty itself strengthens trust. When friends are upfront, it creates a relationship where both parties are expressive and they can feel themselves without second-guessing intentions. I personally would rather be hurt for a moment than to be lied to for a lifetime, and that's how I would view genuine friendships as well. Lastly, real friends actually help each other become better versions of themselves. Constructive criticism, even if it's hard to hear, pushes us to reflect, evolve, and even avoid repeating mistakes. In short, truth may hurt some egos in the short run, but it helps a lot in the long term.
There we go. Okay, that's the end of that answer. You can see once again, the format we followed is the same. You start with a strong intro, giving your opinion, telling people or the examiner what you think, and as soon as that 10 to 15 seconds of the introduction is done, you go firstly, secondly, thirdly. At the end, you wrap up with your conclusion, in this case, rephrasing your own opinion. You would notice in point number 1, I explained the reasoning more, why and how, in that first point. Points 2 and 3, I gave examples. Point number 2 specifically, I gave a personal example, like this is how I would feel. That makes it natural and that allows you to say a lot of things in a short amount of time because personal examples are very easy to talk about. In the third example, the example was more general. And that was about friendships overall and how truth will strengthen you and your friendships. So keeping a mix is always important. Then again, the tone throughout, the pauses, perfect. Assertive tone, perfect. In this answer, we were not friendly, we were not casual. We were using complex and advanced words like evolve and grow and things that would be more professional in nature, not talking to a one-on-one friend. And you want to change this tone in every question because every question presents a different scenario. Speaking part 7 usually is a debate though, so being assertive is the key. And always not just giving your points, but explaining them in detail. One other important thing is we didn't go in between multiple points. For example, what usually happens is people say firstly, but within the first point, they say 10 different things. What you would see in both the answers we did, the coherence was perfect. When we said firstly, we stayed there, spent some time, 20 seconds, to elaborate that point. We did the same thing with secondly and the same thing with thirdly. So staying and elaborating is what is needed for good coherence and expanding on the task response, which is crucial. The words, vocabulary, phrases are all unique. You will notice in both answers, I don't do a lot of I, which is what a lot of students do. So it's not just the active voice, it's passive voice too. Keeping that and keeping a mixture of advanced verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, as well as your connectors. Furthermore, likewise, also, however, firstly, secondly, then your conclusions. All these things help you crafting the best and the most beautiful CELPIP speaking answer. So if that student at the start of the video got a 12, you can certainly get a 12 as well following these tips and advice. I hope you like this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk soon. Take care.